Hi, welcome to Remote Job Talk. All right, check in, make sure we're going live in Facebook. There we go. Getting us live everywhere else. Welcome in, everybody. Let me double check, make sure we're good on our other platforms, and then we'll get into it. If you're just joining me, welcome into Tuesday. Well, it's Monday, but welcome into Remote Job Talk. We're going to talk about remote jobs today. We're going to talk about upcoming events. We're going to talk about some advice I have. And if you have any questions, first and foremost, this is a casual live session just to help you with whatever you need career-wise. So if you have questions, feel free to let me know. It looks like we are good on all the places that I can see, so we're going to get to it. So I am Katie Castillo, the community expert at VirtForce. This is Remote Job Talk. So like I said, we're going to talk about jobs. We're going to talk about events with employers. We're going to talk about CVS customer care and clinical cohorts. And we are going to talk about some advice I have for your digital presence. So if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat at any time. I'm going to open that up on my phone so I can see you on Facebook. And then if you have questions on any of the other platforms, I'm watching those and they'll come through. So I will answer your questions as I see them. So let's get going. So first, we're going to talk about who we are, what we do, and our job boards. I'm going to get that up there for you. So for those of you who do not know, or even if you do know, at VirtForce, we are entirely military spouse owned and military spouse and veteran owned and operated. I'm going to change that. I don't know why that's black. That's weird. Let's try that. Move different. Okay. Sorry. My streaming thing set up a different thing. I was like, that was weird. Okay. Anyways, so we are military spouse and veteran owned and operated. And the goal here at VirtForce is to lower the unemployment rate for military spouses and veterans. And we do that by connecting our talent community with military friendly, location flexible, portable, ideally remote roles and careers. So first and foremost here, we're talking our job board. So we have a job board. It has vetted legitimate jobs on it. Everything on there is vetted and legitimate. There will be no scams, and they all have to meet certain standards for our jobs. So no scams here. It's the best place to start. So it's at jobs.virtforce.us. You can also scan this QR code. Sorry, it's like really blurry today. And I don't know if it's because I'm too far, but if you're not on your phone, you can scan the QR code to take you to our job board. It is a private job board. So if you do not make an account, you will not see all of the jobs. You'll just see like a couple little highlighted ones. So make sure you sign up for the job board. We're not going to spam you with emails. We will send you job alert emails as needed. And like event emails, but we don't spam you emails all the time and we don't give away your email address or anything like that. It's just for our job board. So make sure you sign up, make an account. At the top, you'll see like dashboard jobs. I'm gonna mess this up. Yeah, dashboard jobs, learning, events, and podcasts. So there's lots of different resources on the job board apart from just jobs. But once you click jobs, it'll take you over to the job site and you'll see all of the jobs that we have available. You can filter and narrow that down as needed based on what you're looking for. And so that can be helpful. I will say just watch your filters because sometimes it'll be filtered and you'll be like, there are no jobs for me. And it's because of filters. So just keep an eye on that. And I do want to say that the jobs on our job board rotate frequently. So jobs will go up and come down usually within a week. So make sure you're keeping an eye on it just because you might miss something if you're not paying attention. We do post about every single job in our Facebook group, which I might have. I do. Okay. So we have a VirtForce Facebook group. It's a private group just for military spouses and veterans. Obviously veteran spouses as well. So when I say military spouses, I mean past, present kind of military spouses, service members and veterans, things like that. It is on Facebook. You can either scan that QR code or you can just go to search for VirtForce in groups on Facebook. Make sure you answer the membership questions. But every time we have a new job, it goes up on our job board and we post about it in there. We also send out an email if you guys are looking for remote jobs. So let me get back up on that. And then let's talk about jobs. What we've got up here right now. So I'm on a specific one of the Imagine 360. So we have an outside sales rep job, preferably West Coast because they'll be traveling in the West Coast. It is remote with some travel. It is a W-2. They provide all the equipment for you, partially quiet office hours required, which means, some meetings. Obviously, it's a sales role, so there's going to be some meetings and things like that. So you do need a quiet office during those hours. It is full-time. You can live in any U.S. state, but you do have to do some travel. Specifics are all going to be on the job board. And then there's a base salary plus commission for that role. I want to talk about, where are you? Where'd it go? Oh, I got to put that. It must have come down. I'm going to update that because there's a job I want to talk to you guys about. So I'm going to fix this in real time while I'm talking to you. So bear with me here. There is a role with CVS Health that I want to talk about. That is the outbound call center representative role. This is a role that they talked about in our customer care event with them. And it's an incredible role. It is an outbound call role, but it's not like a sales call kind of role. You're not just like making cold calls to random people. You are calling members to let them know about a benefit that they already have. So it costs them no money. So it's not like a typical sales role. You're more letting them know about a benefit that they already have access to see if that's something that they need in their life at the moment. So you'll be helping, like, it's generally older, elderly patients. And again, it's more about letting them know about something they already have that can be helpful to them. We talk about it specifically in our Coffee and Connect with them that we had in September. That replay will be up on our YouTube very soon. But this role is fantastic. We have had over 12 offers for this role specifically from our CVS Health customer care cohort, which is really cool. Really awesome to see some of our VirtForce candidates getting hired in this role. So I think, what day is it? It's the 13th. So just went down. Give me just 1 second. I am going to go ahead and put it back up on here so that it's ready. Oh, I'm in the wrong month. So give me just 1 second because I am working on this right now as we talk. And so this role is fantastic. So you get a base pay. The pay right now is non-negotiable, just as a heads up, because there is a very high commission potential with this role. So the pay is not negotiable, but like I said, you have a very, and when I say very high, I mean, when the recruiter for this specific role told me what the average commission was, I was a little bit flabbergasted. So great opportunities for commission and extra pay at this on top of your base pay. So that's the outbound call center representative role with CVS Health. They have sort of I'm going to call it a dedicated team, just for lack of a better word right now, but they have a team of recruiters that I am in direct communication with that is hiring like on a recurring basis at the moment for this role. So if you are interested in getting into CVS Health, this is a great place to start with them. They are looking for somebody with customer service or work experience, preferably in a call center, but it's not a requirement to have call center experience. So highly recommend it. I see that there is a comment, but for some reason, I think it's not uploading. So give me just 1 second. I'll go check and see what's happening. Okay. So that is the outbound call center representative role. Please check that out. Like I said, we've had over 12 offers for that role already through the customer care cohort. So it's a great way to get your foot in the door with CVS Health. It's a great company. I'm very excited about it. And I'm excited for all of our candidates who've gotten hired there already. And then we have a nurse role with CVS Health, with Imagine 360. It's a clinical excellence RN trainer role. Full-time, W-2, fully remote role, PTO, benefits, the whole kit and caboodle over there. And then you'll also see links to all of the career areas within CVS Health. So if you're not necessarily looking for a customer care role or you have clinical experience, go ahead and scroll down. You'll see, we have areas for fulfillment, warehouse, IT. You'll see customer care. You'll see clinical. So go ahead and check all of those depending on what you're looking for. You'll also see a multi-listing link for Imagine 360. So you can go explore all their other careers because Imagine 360, yes, is a healthcare company. So they are hiring RNs and licensed clinical professionals. But like with any company like that, they're also looking for other roles. So they also have customer care roles and IT roles and things like that. And you can find those through the multi-listing link on our job board. You'll also see a multi-listing link for Travelers Insurance. Again, Travelers is a very large company and hires in several different business areas. So depending on what you're looking for, you will likely find an opportunity for you over at Travelers. And let's see here. Okay. So those are the big jobs that I want to talk about. I also want to talk specifically about a couple companies here that are on our job board and also to give you some more information. So we're going to share this now. Let me turn this off and turn this off. Okay. So this is our Travelers Coffee and Connect. This is tomorrow. Our Travelers Coffee and Connect is on Zoom tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern on Zoom with Travelers Insurance and InsureMatch. During this employer event, we are going to be sharing an open job requisition for you. So there will be job links to share to find open roles that you can apply for at the moment. We are going to be highlighting a specific role with InsureMatch. And I'm very excited about this. I got to talk to our military spouse guest who's going to be joining us tomorrow. She's fantastic and her story is really cool. And I think it's something that's going to resonate with a lot of you. And she's really fun because, well, she worked in the position that they are highlighting tomorrow, which I always love because then you guys get to ask questions about what the actual position is like. They're going to talk about, you know, who's a good fit for this kind of role and things like that. But she's also she's been promoted, right? She started there, but that's not where she stayed, which I love promotion stories. I think it's really cool. I think it really gives you guys an insight to what the career potential is at Travelers. So this event is going to be great. It is your last day to RSVP because we do go live tomorrow. Here, I'm going to share. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Turns out I have a hard time typing while also talking at the same time. So this is the Travelers Coffee and Connect. I'm going to share where'd it go? Oh, there's. This is the URL if you can't scan the QR code. This is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can join. Once you RSVP, you'll get a link in your email with the Zoom link that you can join up to 30 minutes before the event. You'll get a calendar invite reminder as well. We will be giving away 100 Starbucks gift cards at this event. So jobs and coffee, right? It's a good time. But it's really a great opportunity to get to know more about the company that you could be working for, the type of career you could be having with them. And our guests are going to be really awesome. So it's going to be a good time. I hope to see you guys there. That's tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. I will be there. I'll be probably the first person talking to you at the event. So please come. We'll see you. We'll say hello. And maybe it'll be the first day of the start of your new career journey, which I think is really fun. That's like one of my favorite things about these employer events is afterwards, there's always people who get hired, and hearing their stories and seeing that the event was the launching point for that is really cool. So that is Travelers. That is tomorrow, 10 October. So October 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. It is on Zoom. I think I said that, but just in case I didn't, it is on Zoom. One thing I did want to mention, these live events are recorded. So even if you can't attend live or you're like, oh, shoot, I got to go pick up my kid partway or I have a doctor's appointment, whatever it is. If you can't stay for the whole time or you can't make it at all, that is okay. I still recommend that you RSVP because when you RSVP, we send everybody after the event. I send you an email that has the information you need, the links you need. And then once the recording is ready, you'll also get an email to let you know that the recording is ready to watch. So even if you can't make it, that's your way of guaranteeing that you'll get to see the event or get the information that you need. Okay. So after Travelers, next week on Thursday, we have our clinical Coffee and Connect with CVS Health. So we just did a customer care event with them in September. We are doing our clinical event with them next Thursday on October 23rd. It's at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. this is going to be kind of a new, unique event because we are going to be talking to CVS Health, but we're also going to be talking to some of their different subsidiaries. So we're talking, it's part of CVS Health. So we're going to be talking to Oak Street Health, Signify Health, and Minute Clinic, and recruitment teams from each of those on our recruiter panel to answer your questions about the different business lines, what specialties they hire for. And we're also going to be talking about how you can get in with the clinical cohort with CVS Health. So this is a brand new kind of event for us. We've never really done anything quite like this, and it's going to be excellent. I know that we have a lot of clinical professionals in our community. This is an incredible opportunity to get into a company where you have the potential to move with your job or stay within the company when you do PCS within the United States. So anybody who is a licensed clinical professional, this event is for you. It is on October 23rd, 1 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. We are also launching the clinical cohort at this event. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about the CVS Health cohorts because we have seen some questions about it. It was in our Facebook group today, so I wanted to talk about it also because we're launching the clinical side of it next week. So the CVS Health cohort that we're doing with you is our way of trying to increase your chances of getting seen and hired at CVS Health. We obviously can't guarantee anything, but it's our way of trying to increase those chances. So we're doing expedited job alerts. We're doing recruiter calls. So you get a chance to actually talk to the recruitment teams over at CVS Health, like one-on-one with a panel of like a couple recruiters and just 10 candidates. We are also doing like interview, resume, application coaching, and we're doing advocacy, which is a big part of this. So like I had mentioned, the customer care cohort. Sorry, my glasses are driving me crazy today, guys. They will not stay on my face. So like I mentioned, we have had over 12 offers for our customer care cohort. And for that one specific role, we've had over 15 plus, and they just keep rolling in, which is really fun. But I'm in pretty much constant communication with the team over at CVS Health, and they have been just beyond wonderful at helping advocate for our candidates coming from the VirtForce team. So that's what we're doing at the cohort. Number one thing I want to say right now with CVS Health is, and actually with any of our partners, especially Imagine 360 and CVS Health, make sure when you apply, whether that's now, whether that's in 3 days or 3 weeks from now, mark yourself a VirtForce candidate in their source menu. So for CVS Health, for example, when you do the drop-down menu and you click source, under military, it will say VirtForce. So it's kind of like a drop-down and a drop-down menu. Make sure you select VirtForce, okay? That's how they know you are coming from our candidate pool. And that's sort of how we are letting them know that you're coming from us. And it helps us advocate for you. Once you join the cohort, there's also an advocacy form you can fill out after you apply. After having submitted your application with VirtForce as your source, please, you can fill out the advocacy form, and that's their way of like double checking, and we can use it. But it's much faster and much easier for their recruitment team, much less work for their recruitment team, which is always good, if you select that you're a VirtForce candidate. So if you will please do that, that would be wonderful. So we are launching the clinical cohort on next Thursday on the 23rd. But you can, if you have questions about the CVS Health cohort, let me know. And I'm happy to answer any of those questions. But like I said, it's our way of trying to advocate for you and increase your chances of getting hired over at CVS Health, like several of our candidates already have, which is like my favorite thing about this is when we get I got hired. We're seeing it in our Telegram groups, and I'm getting it in emails, and it's just really honestly the best. So that is what is happening next week. Let me get rid of that. And so, I forgot I have this up here. So if you want to sign up for the cohort, you can scan this QR code here. If you can't scan the QR code, let me know and I can drop a link for you. We're also sharing that, and it's our Facebook group and everything like that, and I'm happy to help you. Okay, now I want to talk about your digital presence online, because this is something, actually, I'll just leave that up there in case you need it. I have seen this recently. Usually if I have something to talk about, it's because I've seen it. And I think that it's important to talk about. So I want to do that today. I want to talk about your digital presence. Let's start with this. We've kind of briefly touched on this before, but I think it's important to sort of circle back on. So, I see Jerry on YouTube is asking, is Travelers cohort for veterans only? So we don't have a cohort with Travelers. We have an event, like a live event tomorrow, and it's for anybody, whether you're military affiliated or not, but it's also for military spouses, veterans, active duty, transitioning, whatever, service member, whatever. You are all welcome to attend the event. They hire everybody. They do have roles that are remote only for active duty military spouses, but we are going to talk about that, and we are going to talk about the other roles available that may not be remote or primarily targeted for active duty military spouses. So there are roles for everybody at Travelers. So I hope you come to our event tomorrow, Jerry. Okay, so let's talk about your digital presence. So I want to put this out there because I want nothing more than for you guys to put your best foot forward, and really show your best self to employers, and whether that's a recruitment partner of ours or somebody else. And one of the ways you do that is by your digital online presence. So whether that's on LinkedIn, whether that's on Facebook, whether that's on YouTube, whether that's on Instagram, it doesn't really matter where it is. But everything you say and everything you do could be seen by a recruiter, by an employee who has influence with recruiters. And your digital presence matters, and the way that you present yourself matters. So I have seen, there are two parts to this. So I've seen, I'm going to start with the softer, gentler, less aggressive one. So I've seen a lot of people who apply and are like, well, I applied, why haven't I heard back? So if a recruiter tells you, hey, I'm going to get back to you in about a week or so. Sorry, my dog just lost their minds because a delivery person just showed up. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. If it's UPS, my dogs love them because they bring them treats. And so he goes bananas because he gets to get treats from the delivery people. So if a recruiter tells you they'll get back to you in about a week, give them 7 business days and then a few extra business days before you reach out or talk about the fact that you haven't heard yet. Because when they give you a time frame, it's usually fairly flexible, and it's kind of guesswork because there's a lot that goes into it, and there are so many moving pieces that are like taking part all at the same time, and they might be waiting on somebody else to get back to them. They might have other interviews, something else might come up. So just know that like recruiters, it takes a lot longer than you might think, as like the only, like you're thinking about from your side how quick it should go, but they might be interviewing like 3 dozen candidates, and that can take a little bit of time. So just remember that if a recruiter tells you that they're going to get back to you, or even if they haven't told you anything, if you interview or you get an email or whatever it is, if you've even just applied, give them more time than you think they need, because there's a lot of moving parts that go into interviewing candidates, second interviews, offering jobs, whatever it is. It can take a lot longer than you think. So just be patient. I know that it is hard because you're excited and you just want to know, and waiting is really hard, but just try to be patient and give them some time. I've had a couple candidates in the last week be like, Katie, I interviewed and I haven't heard back. What do I do? And I'm like, just chill. Let's give it like a couple extra days and just see what happens. Like, let's just hang out. And then when I check back in with them 3 days later to be like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh, actually, I have my second interview now. So just be patient. Know, especially that like when they're getting like hundreds or thousands of applicants, it can just take a while. So just be patient and understand that it might take a little longer than you think. And I know it's hard to wait, but constantly, I'm going to say complaining, because that's kind of what we're seeing, a lot of constant complaining about like, hey, I haven't heard, can look negative. And we don't want that for you. We don't want somebody from that company to say, hey, I see that Katie is complaining about not hearing, and she literally just applied, or she applied to 7 positions and she's complaining that she only heard for 1. So just give them more time than you think. Give them a little bit of grace. They're people too. So that's part 1 of what I want to talk about. And part 2, I want to talk about your digital presence in a negative way. So I'm seeing a lot of people who are complaining, and whether they think that they're complaining or that they are bad mouthing or bashing a company or a team or something like that, or not, or I've had candidates who I've asked about it and they said, I was just trying to let them know they weren't alone, that I was also having a hard time. And so I'm not saying this is coming from a negative place. I'm just trying to give you some advice, because I don't want a recruiter or an employee for a company that you want to get hired at to see you and see what you're writing online and perceive you in a certain way that maybe you're not that way, but that's how it's being perceived online. So all of our employment partners, everybody that we work with, has gone out of their way to hire military spouses and veterans. So maybe you haven't been hired there, but they are trying to hire military spouses, veterans, people in our military community, right? They are actively trying to do that. Just because a company wants to hire military spouses doesn't mean that they can hire every single person who applies, right? That's not really how jobs work. And I think everybody knows that. So I know it's really frustrating when you don't get hired. I know it's really frustrating when you don't hear back. I also know that the world in general could be a little frustrating right now. And the job market especially is a little bit tough, to put it lightly. I do know these things, right? I have been affected by them personally. I know that it is tricky right now. However, if you are, whether it's on LinkedIn or Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, in one of our employer events, if you are complaining a lot about whatever it is, just know that recruiters and employees at those companies can see that. And they are looking for people, whatever company it is, they are looking for somebody who is professional and respectful. And they could perceive you as being very negative, and only complaining about a company could say, or could show you in a certain light. Whether that's who you are or not, that might be who they see. So I would like to just point out that I understand that the job market is very, very frustrating right now. I do get that. And I know it's frustrating when you really want a job or you want to work for a company and you haven't heard back or you're not getting an interview. And I know that that's hard. Okay. Like I said, personally affected by the situation in my family. Several people in my family. So I do get it, but there's a very big difference from being online, whether it's a private group or a private event or whatever it is. Just know that you don't know who's there, right? You don't know who they work for. You don't know who they're going to talk to. But there's a very big difference between saying, I'm so frustrated, nobody is calling me back. They are not responding to my applications and I'm just not hearing back. That's one way of saying it. You could also say, I'm feeling frustrated because I've applied for several jobs and I'm really excited to work for XYZ company. Does anybody have any advice or can give me any help for how I might set myself up for success or how I'm more likely to get an interview or get a call back? Do we hear the difference in those two things? So they're basically asking for the same thing, right? Maybe you're hoping for help and you're hoping for advice and feedback to increase your chances of getting hired. Totally cool. But one is very negative, very complainy, not very professional, respectful, or kind. And the other one is asking for help and is hopefully open to receiving that help and feedback. So I'm mentioning this because I've seen this a lot recently. And I just really don't want you guys to be perceived as negative complainers, right? Who aren't professional or respectful. That's not what we want. And so I really want you guys to put your best foot forward and really think about what you're putting online and think of it under the lens of, okay, yes, this is what I mean in these words. But if a recruiter were to see that, how would they read it? And I just want you to think about that. Sometimes I think that we forget that social media could be seen by anybody, could be literally seen by anybody. So I just really want you guys to put your best foot forward. I know that the job market is hard. I know that things are rough right now. But there's a way to express your frustration and ask and be open for feedback and help and guidance without being overly negative or unprofessional, or disrespectful. So I just want to say, I get it. I'm here for you, and we do really want to help you. But please lead with an air of openness and requesting for help, and actually be open to receiving that help and feedback. I also just want to say, like, this is the thing I'm hearing over and over and over from recruiters, especially at bigger companies where they're receiving like hundreds or thousands of applications, especially for remote positions. Persistence is your best friend, guys. And I know that that's hard. It would be wonderful if it was like a one application, one job interview, one job offer, and that's it. But that's not really how things are going right now. So just stay persistent. So keep going and keep trying. Just because you weren't hired for that last position you applied for doesn't mean that necessarily you weren't the best candidate. You just might not have been one of the first 500 applicants. And so it's hard to get to you at that point. So just keep trying. Being like one of the first to apply as soon as a job is posted is going to be very helpful for those larger companies. And lead with openness, lead with respect, lead with curiosity rather than judgment. I don't have my mug with me anymore. I put it in the dishwasher, but I have a Ted Lasso mug. And so I was going to pull that out and say, be curious, not judgmental. That's huge. And that, so that's my advice. I don't see any questions coming in at the moment. So if anybody has questions, I'm here to answer. If you are watching from our Facebook group or you catch this later on, you can always drop questions there. I do get notifications when it's on this particular video because it's mine, and it'll let me know. Facebook will let me know that you commented on it. YouTube will not allow you to comment after this is live. So if you have questions, head on over to our Facebook group and ask me there. We'll do a quick little wrap up here before I hop off for the day. So number one, lead with curiosity, not judgment, please. That'll help your tone be a little bit more positive, a little more respectful and professional. I really want you to put your best foot forward. And I would really hate it if you said something negative online and it affected your chances at a job with a company you really want to work for. So curiosity, not judgment. I think that's important to know. Be patient with recruiters. Give everything a little bit more time than you think it should. I know I see Paul on LinkedIn said, good, solid guidance about the recruiters. I know it's hard. Waiting is terrible, but just be patient and wait. There's a lot more that goes into interview requests and reviewing applications than you might think. So just be patient with them. Give them a little bit more time, business time, not over the weekend, than you think you probably than you would like. Give them a little bit more time before you follow up. And then again, lead with curiosity, not judgment. And then we have our CVS clinical event next Thursday, October 23rd, 1 p.m. Eastern time on Zoom. And then tomorrow we have our Travelers Coffee and Connect. We're giving away 100 Starbucks gift cards at our event with Travelers. And we will have live open jobs to share during this event. And that is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. When you RSVP, you'll get a link with the Zoom link on there. You'll get an email with the Zoom link so you can click it. You can join that up to 30 minutes before the event starts. And you'll also get a calendar invite that I will be sending updates to today. So I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow on Zoom for our Travelers event. All right, everybody. Bye.